Well, good morning. I'm Jennifer, and this is A Country Life. It's about 5 after 11 right now. I'm in the kitchen here on this Sunday, and I'm going to be prepping food for the week. So let me just show you my meal plan. If you are signed up for my Monday morning newsletters, you know that this was shared recently in one of the newsletters. So it's just a printable. We are about right here, and for the week, these are the meals that I have planned out in advance for the week. However, things are changing a little bit. I actually just went down to get some hamburger out to get that thawing to make Salisbury steak for tonight, and we are out. We are completely out of our ground venison, and so I had to change it up. So I did get a venison roast out. I'm going to put that in the Instant Pot for quite a while and, pressure cook that. I'll be making a gravy, mashed potatoes, green beans. My garden is still producing cucumbers, so I'm going to get cucumbers going. Also, tomorrow night is a Packer game. I was thinking it was today, so I was going to change things up, make some different food, but I have the food for tomorrow night. I'd like to just make kind of like snacks. So I have some frozen chicken strips, some frozen mozzarella sticks, and then I have plans on making a layered taco dip, potato chip dip, and what is that called? Oh, and Chex Mix as well. And so that is going to be kind of like for tomorrow night's supper. And that's fine because guess what? I ended up changing things up last night with the beef enchiladas. I made bacon wrapped jalapenos, and so I used up my bacon that I would have wrapped up the roasts. So that works out. I just crossed that whole meal off and we'll do like the Packer game food. For Tuesday, I'm going to do chicken stir fry. All I have to do today to get ready for that is to just get the boneless, skinless chicken thighs into the refrigerator to thaw. Wednesday, we always do a crock pot meal. We already used up the barbecue. Earlier in the month, we ended up with some guests for lunch, and I just quick took the barbecue out, and we ended up doing that. And so I'm going to do the taco soup. Emily and I made that in our great big, like 30 freezer meal video that we did. And I probably won't do the corn on the cob with taco soup since there's already corn in there. And then we'll just do canned fruit that night. And I'm going to transfer the pretzel salad to go along with the chicken stir fry. So I'm just kind of changing things up. Thursday's meal will stay the same. There isn't anything I can do today. I don't want to get the brats out yet to thaw, so nothing I can do today. The only thing I can do for Friday's meal is to get the mozzarella cheese shredded. And then for Saturday night, look at that, hot dogs, chips, pickles, nothing I need to do for that. So I don't have a ton that I need to prep for the meals this week. I do have some other things I'd like to do. I would like to shred zucchini and make 48 zucchini muffins. I would also like to make zucchini cranberry bread, get the grapes washed up that I bought yesterday, just a few other things. I see there's a couple things I need to write on here to get out to thaw, and that would be the taco soup. I have that in an ice cream pail, so I do need to get that out of the freezer as well. So into the Instant Pot, I have my 3-pound venison roast. I'm putting in 1.5 cups of water. I want to make sure, since I'm going to have it in for such a long time, I want to make sure that it does not run out of water. This might seem like a lot, but I like to do a teaspoon of salt per pound, and so this is a whole tablespoon of salt in here. I'm doing a whole teaspoon of black pepper. That gets down below by all the other skillets. And then I'm going to put in 2 bay leaves. Just add those in there for flavor. Put the cover on. Okay. Does anyone else ever wiggle and wiggle their Instant Pot lid until they get it in place just right? There we go. Make sure that it's set to have it locked so the steam locks in. I'm going to get this plugged in. I'm putting it to the meat stew, actually though, so that gives me high pressure, and I am going to increase the time by a lot. I am going to put this in for, I'm going to put this in for 1 hour, 30 minutes, and that's it. It's going to start up. It'll pressure cook for 1 hour and 30 minutes, and I will let it do a natural release for the steam. I'm going to put together some quick creamy cucumbers. So I have in there a mix of mayo and Miracle Whip, a little bit of sugar, and I'm going to put in 4 little splashes of vinegar. That's like 4 teaspoons. 1, 2, 3, 4. That might not have been quite enough, but I always taste it at the end. And then I'm going to put in almost a whole teaspoon, so about 3/4 of a teaspoon of dill weed. When I make creamy cucumbers, sometimes I put onions in. If I have green onions, I'll put in a green onion, the white and the green tops. And if I just have regular, like a white or yellow onion, I'll put some slices of that in. It really just depends on what I have and how much time I have and if I feel like onion or no. Nothing but proper English around here. I'm going to put in a little bit of salt and have the kids go pick some cucumbers, and we'll get those sliced up and in here so it can start chilling for supper tonight. When I'm doing a cooking day like this, I like to, well, I guess always I like to keep my list out on the counter so I can add things as I run out. So I know that I'm out of the Ritz style crackers. I just used up the last of my mayo and Miracle Whip, so I definitely need that on the list here. And then this side I always have like the things we need that are not food. But I just like to keep the list going because I'm pretty sure you know how it is. You're cooking and you're just kind of like trying to get it done quick, and you're like, oh, I'll remember that I need ginger, or I'll remember that I need whatever. Then next time, still don't have it. So I like to keep my list out. It just helps me to get those things on the list so we don't forget them. Grabbed Maria when she was running by and I said, hey Maria, I need you to peel up the cucumbers. So she actually picked 5 nice cucumbers and she's going to peel those, and I'll get those sliced up for the creamy cucumbers. And then over here I'm going to start doing muffins. So I'm going to do the zucchini chocolate chip muffins. This recipe, I'll show it to you there. You go. If you want to, you can screenshot it. This is on page 42 in my cookbook, and I'm going to double this today. I mean, a single recipe is only 1 cup of shredded zucchini. You know what? I think I'm going to quadruple it because I want to use 3 cups of zucchini. I really want to use zucchini up today, and so I'm going to triple this. I'm going to put all the wet ingredients into this bowl here, all the dry ingredients in here, and then, you know, mix it up when it's time. And this is exactly why I want to use up 3 cups of zucchini today, because this is my zucchini that I'm working with. And between the muffins and the bread, I don't think I'm going to use it all up, but I really would like to. Okay, all the cucumbers are sliced and I'm getting ready to stir this in. As soon as I'm done with this and I get this in the fridge, it's going to be time to drain the potatoes because they are soft as well. I have all the zucchini ready to go. So I just wash it. I cut it into 3 big chunks. And then I just, you know, cut each chunk into quarters, the lengthwise, and then what I do from there is I just stand it up on end and I slice down to slice out most of the seeds in kind of that middle. If I have a smaller zucchini, I don't do that, but with the big ones, the seeds, they can get pretty big, so I like to just kind of slice out most of it. I don't get them perfectly, I don't get every seed, but I aim to get most of the big seeds. So Joe has joined me in the kitchen now.
Grapes.
We have to wash those, okay? And Joe, what are you doing?
Grapes.
Plucking all the grapes off? Thank you. And I just put in the 3 cups. Look at, I have so much more and I haven't even shredded all of it. I added 3 cups to the liquid here. I'm going to give that a little stir, and then I'm going to put the dry ingredients into my bowl here and get going on these muffins. Yeah, I kind of got sidetracked there for a couple of minutes with slicing the cucumbers and mashing the potatoes, things like that. But I'm back at this. We're going to get these going into the oven. I said this before, that if you are a longtime viewer here, you're going to see a lot of the same recipes, because although I do love a new recipe, I have found that, you know, just kind of sticking. Puppy chow. You want me to make puppy chow?
Yes.
That's Peter's job. He makes puppy chow for us. I find that just sticking with your family's favorites is just a smart thing to do. It's financially smart because you know the food is going to get eaten. It's smart for your time because you know you're not going to be putting time into recipes that nobody likes. Finish up with the grapes so we can get those washed. I'm going to get some chocolate chips now and get those stirred in.
Yes.
My recipe does call for nuts, although I'm not going to put nuts in because I find that the kids will eat them
sugar.
if they're without the nuts. All the kids. I mean, some of them will eat them with nuts. And I'm going to do a little over 3/4 cup of chips. Actually, maybe a lot over 3/4 cup. Do you like chocolate chips better or grapes?
Grapes.
You like grapes better. That's good. How about Peter? Does Peter like chocolate chips or grapes better?
Chocolate.
Chocolate chips. I think you're right. How about me? What do I like better, chocolate chips or grapes?
Puppy chow.
You think I like puppy chow?
Yeah.
So next up, I'm getting ready to make a double batch of this cranberry zucchini bread. This recipe originally came from the Cranberry Homemaker's Cookbook. This is the recipe here. I'm doubling it, so it's going to end up making 4 loaves, probably more because I'm going to make smaller loaves. So in here, I have all my dry ingredients. The 6 cups of flour, holy cow, 4 cups of sugar, 5 teaspoons ground cinnamon. I have the salt, the baking soda, and the nutmeg. And then I'm just going to mix this up and set this aside. I'm not going to do, well, I might mix up actually the wet ingredients right now as well, which is going to be 6 eggs, 3 cups of zucchini, 2 cups oil, 2 tablespoons vanilla, and I will leave out the cranberries and walnuts for right now. And then once I mix everything together later, which will be after I'm done with the zucchini chocolate chip muffins, that's when I'll add in the zucchini, or sorry, that's when I'll add in the cranberries and the walnuts to the bread. If you've ever taken the muffins out of the oven and found that the points, or that the tops are real pointed or peaked, that would most likely come from over mixing the batter. And so definitely you want to be real gentle with muffin mix, because that's how you get the nice round tops. Well, it's time to regroup a little bit here. I have a pretty big mess going, so I just need to get this whole island cleared off. And then actually Warren and I are going to go take a UTV ride. He has to check water and stuff like that, so we're just going to go do that after I get this done. I did the mashed potatoes, I did the creamy cukes. I actually changed my mind on the green beans, and we still have corn, a little bit of corn in the garden, just kind of the leftover small cobs. So I'm going to get those picked today. We'll have that for supper. I ended up making only 40 zucchini muffins. I do have to take the chicken out. I haven't done any of these things here. No, yep, Joe washed the grapes, and we did get the zucchini cran bread going. So there isn't a lot left to do, and I'll get back to that at some point later here in the day, but right now we're going to take a little break, get outside. So this is the cranberry bed that's going to get harvested tomorrow. So in just an hour or so, Warren and Sam are going to be picking up the pipe. And then tonight, Warren will... Are you talking or am I talking? I guess I am. And then tonight
I'm going to rake.
Yep, he's going to rake. So you can see he's got... The rake tractor is down...
Down there.
Yep, the rake tractor is down at the other end. So he's going to rake this tonight. And he was just checking the water to make sure that it wasn't too warm, because it's like reading almost 90 degrees today, which is not the greatest weather for harvest.
Weather.
So they have the boom laid out, and that's so that it's all ready for tomorrow. So once the flood is brought even higher and the cranberries are all floating, you know, once the raking has happened, then they will hook up to the boom and corral all the cranberries to that end. So you can see that the water is starting to come up. That is not like normal growing conditions. And actually this is the end of the bed where, if you remember, way back in April and May, the vlogs from back then, this is where Warren had mowed, and then we were all working together trying to rake up the cranberry vines, and this is it. So he had mowed it back to nothing, and now this is what it looks like after a summer of growth. That'll be harvested again next year, correct? Mm-hmm. There'll be fruit next year. And then this here is the water level normally throughout the year. You can see that it's quite low and that the cranberries are actually not growing in water. We get that question a lot. Do cranberries grow in water? No, they don't. So this is pretty interesting. Warren and I are still out driving around here on the UTV, and we've been seeing a lot of bear sign. In one of his other deer stands, a seat was ripped out.
It was laying in the trail.
Yeah, it was laying in the trail. And then we were by a sand pit, and we saw some really, really big tracks that appeared to be wolf. And then anyway, look at this. So this stand got demolished as well. The chair dragged out and everything. So
this is definitely bear.
Yeah, we definitely have some bear around.
Looks like we have some stand repair to do.
The venison roast was in the pressure cooker for an hour and a half. Then I let it do a natural release, and it stayed on warm. Actually, it's already 20 after 4. Kind of a long break. Like I said, Warren and I were on the UTV. I did my nails, went outside, just kind of did some things to take a little bit of a Sunday break here. And then I just wanted to show you though. So when I cut up a venison roast, like I'm going to put this into a gravy, you can see this line right here. This is kind of like a little, I don't know if you'd call it a gristle line or what, but anyway, that I take out. So there were 2 of those lines throughout the whole roast. I just kind of work it apart. It'll naturally, well, probably not with my fingers, but it will pull out of there pretty easily. There are a lot of different ways to make gravy. You can use a gravy packet. You can buy the already made gravy from the store. You can use flour. You can use cornstarch. What I did today is I took some of the meat juices from the Instant Pot. I let them cool, and then I put in 2 tablespoons of flour here, and I just kept stirring till and I just kind of want to keep on stirring till I get rid of all of the little lumps. I turn this on to saute. You can see it's just starting, so I want this to kind of come up to a boil and get nice and hot, and I'll slowly add in my slurry here until I have a nice thick gravy. So gravy is one of those things that I normally just kind of make by feel or by eye, and I thought, you know what, that is not going to be enough gravy for 3 pounds of meat, so I ended up adding 2 more cups of water to my mix, and I made another slurry with 2 more tablespoons, maybe even 3 tablespoons of flour, and I added some beef soup base because I didn't want to dilute it too much because the flavor was actually just right. It was just salt and peppery enough, but adding the water was going to dilute it. So Yeah, so that's what I did, and now I'm just stirring it. You want to make sure that you always cook your gravy, especially when you're using flour. You want to cook that flour, otherwise it'll have like a weird pasty flavor if you don't actually bring your gravy to a boil. And then we're going to actually work on some food things that are going to be for tomorrow. Like I said, there wasn't a whole lot of meal or food prep that I needed to do for the whole week. Really, it was just make this sort of big supper and then get some things thawed. But there are a couple things that I still have to do that'll help me out for the week, and I need to get to those. As I said earlier, I really want to put together kind of some fun food for tomorrow night for during the Packer game. And so yesterday when I was cooking up my last 2 packages of ground venison, I set aside some to make this layered taco dip. And I did have onion in there. The recipe doesn't call for that. That is all right. And then also I'm using some of my frozen chopped jalapenos instead of the can of green chilies. This is 2 teaspoons of beef bouillon. And I'm going to add just a little bit of water because if you put in the chilies, you would add the liquid as well. So I'm going to add in just a couple tablespoons of water to this and then get this heating on the stove. Basically, I just want to cook it until that, I mean, if I was thinking yesterday, I would have actually done the whole step yesterday because I already had the meat hot, but I wasn't. So anyway, that's why I'm doing it now. And basically, I just want to cook this until the jalapenos are soft and the bouillon is dissolved. While the meat heats up, I got out the sour cream and then my taco seasoning, and I added that to the sour cream. I'm going to mix that up. I got my springform pan out. Man, it has been ages since I've used this. Oh, I also opened up my can of refried beans, so those are ready. Just trying to get this going as quick as possible. I'm going to let this cool for a little while until it is basically cool to the touch. It's a little warm underneath there before I put the sour cream topping on this. So I'm just getting everything ready here for the pretzel salad. I have the butter and the sugar mixed together, and I realized when I looked at my cookbook, it says a 1/2 cup butter, but it doesn't say that it should be melted. Sorry about that. You do need to melt the sugar. You do need to melt the butter, then add the sugar, and then add in the pretzels. And then as I stir in the pretzels, I just kind of gradually let them fall out of the bowl onto my pan here. You can see I have 2 different types of pretzels because that's what I had. I only had a few of these left. I thought that the kids would not hit the pretzels so hard, but they have been hitting them pretty hard this month. So anyway, I also had some pretzel rods or sticks, so I'm using those as well. I'm going to put these in the oven at 350 degrees for about 10 minutes. This time I went easy. I just bought guacamole. I'm going to top this with guacamole, cover it, and then I'm going to put this in the fridge until tomorrow, which is when we will take the ring off and serve it with chips.
Wait, the ring?
This comes off and then it'll look like a little layered.
I'm gonna have a lot of it.
Oh, good.
I love that guacamole. Looks so good.
With chips tomorrow.
Oh.
So I decided not to do the potato chip dip because the layered taco dip made a huge dip. And I think that's going to be absolutely plenty when I put it together with the other foods that we're going to be having tomorrow night. So next up, I'm just going to whip together some Chex Mix. I'll put this in the oven for 1 hour, but I will stir it every 15 minutes, and this is going in at 250 degrees. It's an hour later. I've been stirring the Chex Mix every 15 minutes. It's done. I just tried it. It's delicious. It tastes just like the old-fashioned kind that the ladies from like church would make or something if you went to a gathering. Yummy, yummy. I'll put this recipe in the description below. I'm not sure if I ended up showing the bread. The bread came out of the oven while Warren and I were on our UTV ride, so I think it was Sam and Peter who were managing this. They did a great job knowing when it was done. That's all that's left for the muffins already. We made 40. At one point, I saw Joe over here looking at photo albums and just eating and eating and eating. So anyway, I'll be putting these away and we'll be bringing these out for breakfast throughout the week. And I'll probably save one small loaf out for this week as well. And the other loaves I'm going to wrap in saran wrap and tinfoil and pop those in the freezer. It's already 10 to 7. We're just waiting for Warren to come in. He had to rake that cranberry bed, and so, which is what knocks the fruit off. I did see him in his work truck about 5 or 10 minutes ago zipping around, so that must mean that he's adjusting water. Hopefully that means he's done raking, and hopefully we can dish up our supper. We decided to tie into the Chex Mix tonight for supper. Right, Joe?
Chocolate chip cookies.
No, not cookies. Chex Mix. Maria's gonna take her one little piece of
Chocolate chip
meat.
cookies.
We're having Chex Mix for supper.
It's homemade.
You want potatoes?
You want mashed potatoes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
There you go.
Thank you, sir.
Yep, thank you. Go eat. Thanks for the thumbs up. You haven't eaten it yet, though. I'm gonna get Dad's plate, too. Oh, wow, you are hungry.
I'm coming back for Chex Mix.
That's going to be it for the video. I will pop up a couple other Sunday prep videos if you're interested in watching those as well, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.